Hi, I'm Alexander Maxim from Utopian.io. Today we will continue our series about PHP. We will check the string methods. This is the fourth part. We will check the Md5 file method. We will check the Md5 method, the Nl2br method, and the Addcslaches method. Let's start with the Md5 file method. What's this method and when we can use it? The Md5 file method calculates the Md5 of the file name file using the RSA data security algorithm, and then returns the calculated value. The result is a number of 32 hexadecimal characters. It has two parameters. The first parameter is the file, which is the file to calculate, and the second parameter is the format. It's optional. Specifies the format. When it's true, it returns the pretreatment in a raw binary format with a size of 16. And when it's false, it's by default false, the binary format of 32 characters. This parameter was added in PHP 5.0. Let's take an example to understand more the Md5 file method. We have a file utopian.txt. We have the content is I love Utopian. Now I will use the echo method with a hidden to print the title Md5 file method. Then I will create a variable file which is the utopian.txt file. Then I will use the Md5 file method and I will pass the file name as parameter, which is this variable. And we have two parameters, the file and the format, which is true or false. By default, it's false. So the Md5 file will return the hashed string. So we need to print or to store the value returned from the Md5 file in a variable. So we have string, which is the Md5 file value. Then I will use echo to print this string. I will concatenate it with a br and I will see the length of this string using the string length method, and I will pass the string as parameter. Let's reload and see the result. So we have, this is the hashed string using the Md5 method, and this is the length because it's false, so we have 32 characters. If we change it to true, the second parameter true, it will be 16. This is the Md5 method. Let's see how it works. So we have the file, which is utopian.txt. When we crypt or when we hash this, the content of this file using the Md5 file method, this is the result. Let's see how it works. When we pass the file as parameter to the Md5 file method and we pass the format, by default it's false. So the false will return 32 characters. And when we change it to true, it will return 16. When we pass the file as parameter to the Md5 file method and the format, it will return a value, a string, a hashed string. We can print it or store the value of this method in a variable. When we use the echo and print the result, this is the result. So a hexadecimal characters, 32 characters, that the hashing of this or of the content of this file. And this is the Md5 file method. After that, we have the Md5 method. You can learn about the Md5 and why we can or why we use this method and what's the concept of this method. So the Md5 method returns the Md5 of the string as a hexadecimal number of 32 characters. The Md5 function calculates the Md5 of the character string using the RSA data security algorithm, the same algorithm of the Md5 file method, and returns the results. It has two parameters. The first parameter is the string, and the second is the crypt or the format. It's optional. By default it's false. If the optional crypt parameter is set to true, then the Md5 is returned in raw binary format with the length of 16. This parameter was added in PHP 5.0. Let's take an example to understand the Md5 method. Let's copy this title and change the Md5 file to Md5. Then I will create a string to, and I will copy the same content of the utopian.txt file. I will use the Md5 method and I will pass the string as parameter, string2. Then I will use the echo to print directly the value returned from the Md5 method. Let's reload and see the results. So we have the same hashed string returned from the Md5 file and from the Md5. The difference between the Md5 file is it takes the content from the file, and here you that pass the content or the string to this method. Let's see how it works. So we have, for example, a password. The Md5 method using to secure or of the security of your database, to hash the passwords of the users to be like that, and there is some methods to use this hash and return a simple string. So do the contrary of the Md5 method. You store the password in your database with this format to be more difficult to understand and to see, and you can return the normal string using other methods. So we have a password is steamed. When we pass this password to the Md5 method, and the crypt or the format parameter has two values because it's a boolean. We have the true and the false. The false will return 32 because it's by default, and the true will return 16 characters. And the Md5 method will return the hashed string, so we need to use echo to print this string, and this is the result. After that, we have the new line to br method. What's the new line to br method? This method returns a string after inserting br or /br tags in front of all new lines. It has the string as parameter, which is the string to process. Before PHP 4.0.5, the new line to br function inserts just the br, and after this version, it inserts the HTML compliant /br. Let's see an example to understand the new line to br method. So let's create a string. So I will copy the title, and we have new line to br method. Then I will create a string, string3. I will create, for example, we have 2 points. Point 1, I love PHP. and the second point is PHP is the best. Then I will use directly echo the string 3. I will concatenate it with the br, and let's see the result. We have I love PHP and PHP is the best. And here I have inserted new lines, so we have this line and new lines. To save this format or to insert the new lines, we need to use the Nl2br method, and we will pass the string 3 as parameter. Let's reload and see, and we have 1 I love PHP, 2 PHP is the best. Why we use this method? Imagine if you have a text, and when you and inside this text you have many paragraphs, so you need to determine one parameter has finished, so you need to write in new line. If you want to save this format, you need to use the new Nl2br method, because the browser will ignore all the new lines in your string. Let's now see how it works. So we have this string text, hello Simians, we have new line, happy new year, we have new line, and I wish you all the best. If we use directly echo and we pass the string as parameter, the browser will ignore all the new lines, so it will print the string directly. If we use the new Nl2br method and we pass the string as parameter, we will get this result. Hello Simians, new line, it will insert br, and happy new year, it will insert another br, and we return this form. After the new Nl2br method, we have the Addclaches method. Let's see what's the Addclaches method. The Addclaches method returns string after adding backslashes in front of any characters that are in the char list. It has two parameters. The first is the string, and the second parameter is the char list specifies the characters or the range of characters to be assigned by the Addclaches method. Pay attention to the use of characters such as 0, A, B, F, N, R, and V. They will be converted to /0, etc. The /0 is the null, the /r is the carriage return, the /n is the new line, etc. So you must use other characters. Let's see an example to understand this method. So I need to use the hidden, and we have the Addclaches method. It has two parameters. The string, which is for example string 3, I will pass the char list as parameter. For example, the letter capital P, and I will just change it. I love PHP. Let's reload and see the result. So I need to use the echo to print the result, and we have a backslashes before the letter P, or the letter capital P. You can add other, for example, the letter I, and we have before the letter I a backslashes. What's the difference between the Addclaches and the Addclaches method? The Addclaches insert backslashes before the letters here in the char list parameter, but the Addclaches will insert backslashes before just the single and the double quotations. Let's see how it works. So we have string I love PHP. When we pass this string with the letters or the charlies P and E, this charlies can accept many characters and it will return this string. So before the letter E, it will add backslashes. Before before the letter capital P, it will add another backslash. But if we pass this, for example, charlies, it will add before the I, the V, the E, the P, and etc. So it will return a string with the backslashes before the letters passed as parameter. Today we have learned the Md5 find method, the Md5 method, the Nl2br method, and the Addclaches method. Thank you for your watching.